All right, welcome everyone to National Roast and La Grace's MPSP19 election results coverage.
Ici Paul Arc-en-Ciel.
And I'm Marky Markridge with the National Roast. Tonight we will be reporting everything going on to you. We have our excellent reporters here, starting with Lexus Jones, Barry Maluski, Slick Mercer, Anderson's Mini Cooper, and Judge Rudy behind the camera.
Alors, Barry, pour commencer la nuit, que pensez-vous se produire au cours de l'élection?
Well, Paul, that's an excellent question. Really what I'm looking forward to the most tonight is seeing who wins the most seats. Most Canadians don't realize that it's the most important thing here. We need to see who wins the most seats to see who forms the government. So I'm really looking to see how the parties perform in the key battleground ridings that have really opened up. Toronto Danforth, Mississauga Streetsville, very important and powerful ridings that are opening up for the first time in a long time in this election, and it'll be important to perform well in those battleground ridings if they hope to win.
That's true. We will be seeing fresh faces in some of those ridings for the first time. That will be very strange for many model parliamentarians. Moving on, Miss Jones, what are you looking for tonight?
Well, Mark, in short, the GOP will win the Electoral College and Hook will win the popular vote.
Wow, that is a comment quite out of touch with reality like GOP usually is.
Nous serons de retour tout au long de la nuit électorale pour vous donner les plus récentes analyses portant sur toutes les élections locales qui vont se produire au courant de MPSP19.
All right, and I'm hearing we are having election results coming in from Canada's easternmost province, Newfoundland now. We take you live to Atlantic Canada and we'll check back with you shortly. All right, we have our results coming in now from Atlantic Canada. It's very interesting. Things are very close. There's no party that has jumped out to a significant lead. We go now live to our reporter Anderson Mini Cooper, who's on the scene in Newfoundland with the story.
Good evening, Paul and Mark. I'm here in St. John South, where Toga Party leader Christina Rideout has just been elected. I would have stopped in New Brunswick, but 'tis a silly place, and Irving Oil really clogs up my engines. A very interesting night in Atlantic Canada, folks. Well, we haven't really seen Atlantic Canada this divided since, well, probably since the Kraken took half of Cape Breton. The election results typically favor one party. Last year, there was a surge in wave seats, and 2 years before that, Hook took most of Atlantic Canada. But this year, things aren't so clear. What this means for the rest of Canada is mighty uncertain. We're in for an interesting night, folks. Back to you, Mark and Paul. Meep meep.
Meep meep à vous aussi, Anderson's Mini Cooper.
Est-ce que le Québec continuera à démontrer une course très serrée entre les deux grands partis? Ou est-ce que la belle province choisirait un préféré pour lui garantir le pouvoir? Nous allons maintenant en direct les résultats du Québec. Les résultats pour le Québec sont maintenant conclus et voilà que des résultats très intéressants. Le Parti Toga avec une avancée très importante dans la province du Québec. Marc, qu'en pensez-vous?
Je pense que ces résultats sont très importants. On a pensé originalement que le Parti Dodo va remporter Québec avec les chefs Alec Connor et Trevor Stewart qui ont les sièges dans cette région. Mais ils sont une des seuls députés de cette partie dans cette région. C'est très intéressant et peut-être on peut voir si cette tendance continuera une majorité Toga.
C'est des très bons points, Marc. On aurait pu penser qu'avec des étoiles filantes comme Trevor Stewart, qui l'an dernier a remporté le Québec grâce à son parti de quartier, et même le chef du Front Dodo, Alec Connor, pourtant, le Front Dodo est éphémère sur la scène québécoise. Tandis que pour le Parti Toga, on a vu beaucoup d'étoiles qui ont fait leur percée, telles que Ézéchiel Nana au Lac-Saint-Louis, ainsi que Juan David Gonzalez à Gatineau. Vraiment beaucoup portent à questionner sur la force du Front Dodo. Alors, est-ce que le Parti Toga continuera à dominer en Ontario? Est-ce que le Front Dodo pourra faire un grand retour et niveler le jeu? Ou est-ce que le PPC fera une grande percée dans la grande région de Toronto? Il reste à savoir. C'est maintenant les résultats.
All right, continuing coverage of the election. We have Dodo right now in Ontario, made a significant comeback. I'm here with Slick Mercer and Barry Maluski. Barry, break it down for me.
Well, Mark, to be quite clear, this is really a very, very surprising result coming out of Ontario. The early polls coming out of the Fraser Institute had Toga at a massive lead in Ontario. We really thought this was going to be a stronghold for Toga. It's not. That's going to be very disappointing to Toga's leadership. And now we have Dodo actually coming out to a slight lead. It's really quite surprising. It appears they've been able to win some of those important ridings they needed to win.
Well, I think what this is showing us, and what we're seeing this year quite clearly across the board, is that you can't trust the polls, right? Polls had Dodo winning Quebec. They didn't. Polls had Toga winning Ontario. We didn't see that either. This tells us that whatever these experts have been basing their guesses on, it's not working, and that means that the rest of tonight, that's unpredictable too. So I'm excited to see what happens.
Yes, and you're very right. And a lot of these surprise results have come in ridings that we really did not expect anything. We look at Oakville. Henry Mann has been elected a first-time candidate. He's come in and he's swept out a riding that we really thought was going to go to Toga. And on top of that, Burlington. Who would have expected Burlington would go from 4 consecutive terms of responsible representation under Daniel Hucks and go towards the reckless policies of Michael Giesbrecht and GOP. It's incredibly surprising, and I think these unpredictable results are...
All right, I'm really sorry there, Mike, but I am going to have to cut you off. We have an official prediction right now. National Road and Laglace are ready to make a projection. So what we have right now for everyone listening, you're going to want to hear this, okay? We have the government will be a minority. No one will be able to pick up a majority tonight. It's going to be a minority government. We go now to the rest of the results from the prairies.
Des résultats extrêmement excitants, mesdames et messieurs. Toga et le Front Dodo sont à égalité se rendant à la Colombie-Britannique. Personne n'aurait pu s'attendre à un tel résultat si, pour la première fois depuis longtemps, que la Colombie-Britannique va décider du sort du Canada. Anderson's Mini Cooper, qui pensez-vous vont remporter le gouvernement?
You know, I was crossing the prairies at Mach 35, and I was hearing a lot of support from Dodo, and I was hearing a lot of support for Toga. And, you know, coming into Vancouver, I'm thinking that we're going to be seeing a lot of support for Toga. They've been asking for a new Coliseum for a long time. You know, I think they're going to get it with a Toga government.
Here's why I disagree with you. Hairy people, birds. I think the election and BC are going to Dodo.
See, I think these are good points, but I think what people are missing, what's not being talked about at all, is PPC. No party at this point looks like they're going to be getting a majority government, and that means that third party, they're going to be the deciders when we get to the House. That's how we're going to figure out who has the confidence of the House and who ends up being government for the next 4 years.
Des opinions extrêmement intéressantes. Évidemment, personne ne sait qui formera le gouvernement. Allons voir les résultats. Mesdames et messieurs, il ne reste qu'une circonscription à venir qui pourra vraiment décider l'élection si nous avons un gouvernement ou si nous avons un parlement indécis.
Mr. Arc-en-Ciel, I do have the results. Jess Francis of the Toga Party has won Yukon. That is giving Toga the 2 seats needed to form government. We can officially announce that Toga will be government.
Félicitations à tous les partis, surtout à la nouvelle opposition de Sa Majesté et au nouveau gouvernement.
We now go live to the victory speech from our new Prime Minister, Christina Rida.